we got a call from a publicist who was touring Europe with a young director whose movie was opening in Europe but had been a television movie here in the States, and it was called Duel. And this young filmmaker who was my age was kind of homesick, and he heard some Americans were there in Rome, and he'd love to have lunch with us. So we said, sure, bring him by. So a little studio South of Palatino in Rome, and lunch came, and there was a long table, and I always had the same spaghetti for lunch, so that was there, and Peter and Sybil Shepherd was there, and Barry Brown, the star, the American star, a couple of Italian actors, Verna Fields and Peter, and the publicist came in, and I was late because I was doing something on the set, and I came in, I take a couple of bites of spaghetti, I said, hello, Steven, nice to meet you, and I asked Peter a question about the next setup, and I left. I went back to the set, and Verna Fields told me that Steven turned to her at that moment and said, that's the kind of guy I need, someone who's more interested in making the movie than lunch. 5 years later, on the infamous beach in Hawaii, when Steven was sitting with George Lucas, and they were talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark, George asked him, who do you want to produce this movie? And Steven said, let's try and find that guy, Frank Marshall. So, the moral of, thank you. The lesson from that is always do your best, because you never know who's looking. I think he had heard of my reputation of working with the director, and he was about to do another big studio movie, and I think he had not had a very good experience on 1941 with what was supposed to be his support team, and so it was an amazing day when I got that phone call. My little hovel over in Westwood. Could you meet with George Lucas? Well, the first question was, are you the Frank Marshall that worked with Peter Bogdanovich? I said, yes. And they said, could you meet with George Lucas? I said, well, let me check my schedule, I don't know, so it was great. So that's how it all started.
And that began a collaboration with Steven that's pretty much lasted. It
Yeah.
still goes on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many pictures did you work on with him?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, we did a lot of pictures at Amblin. As a director, all the three indies, Always, Empire of the Sun, just some really great pictures. And that was kind of a milestone movie for me, Raiders. Thank you. First single card as a producer, met my wife, met Steven, met George. A terrific movie, first Academy nomination, just a real high point for me.